Hey everybody, it's Christina. Welcome back to another video. Today I thought I would try making a shaker card. I'm going to be using the Celebrate stamp set along with the Celebration Time stamp set from Simon Says. And I'm also going to try out some of the Simon Says inks. I've purchased these a couple months ago and I really never got around to using them. So I thought I'd go ahead and give those a try. I have some white cardstock and I'm using cobblestone, beanstalk, and golden locks for my colors. I'm going to stamp out the medium-sized balloon. There's a couple different size balloons in this set, but I'm going to stamp out the medium-sized one. And these are very much like the Hero Arts inks that as they dry, the colors will kind of blend together. I'm going to use the smallest balloon and the beanstalk. And then I have, actually we'll use this one again. Just clean this off. And I'm going to use golden locks for this one, smaller one again. Then I have the sentiment from that says celebrate, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that out using the cobblestone. And then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere my dies down using Post-it tape. And then we'll run this through our Big Shot. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and run these through, and then I'm going to use another die set to do my pattern paper. I'm also going to die cut. I'm using the Authentic Playful collection, the paper collection that I just recently purchased, and I'm using the stitched rectangles from Simon Says, and I love these because the stitch line is not only on the inside of the cut, it's also on the outside of the cut. So I'm going to use the largest one, which is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch die. So I'm just going to run this one through. It'll probably be a little hard to see, but there's a stitched line going on the outside and then also a stitch line on the inside. So I'm going to take this inside one, and then I'm going to take another one of the rectangles, and I'm going to put that down. Let me just flip this. It's starting to warp, so it helps to flip those over a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and die cut this. And my magnet on my plate is holding it in place, but I always like, just to be safe, I like to throw an extra piece of adhesive on it. So I'm just going to use some Post-it tape. I'm going to go ahead and die cut this. And now I'll have the stitched piece not only on this inside piece, but now I also have it on the outside edge of this frame. So it might be hard to see on video, but in the photos you'll see it a little bit better. Okay, for my shaker card, I'm just going to go ahead and put some acetate down, and I just use transparency paper that you can get at an office supply store. So I'm just going to run some of my tape runner that I ran out of. Okay, so I created a nice little window, and now what I'm going to do is, while I have my adhesive out, I'm just going to go ahead and put some foam tape on the back. Now I'm going to use my giant roll of foam tape here. So I'm just adding some foam tape right around the frame of my die cut here so that my sequins, when I put them in, will stay within the frame. So I'm just going to cut it in half so that I can have a thinner piece that's going to go around this piece here. And you want to make sure that your foam is all touching. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is pop up my balloons, but I also wanted to add this little bit of twine, and I'm using hemp cord from Lawn Fawn. I think this is the Sky. So what I did was I just took some of my score tape and stuck it right onto the back of the balloon. So I have one here, and let me just cut off a piece of this one because I don't need it that long. And I just stuck my hemp cord right onto that piece. And now what I'm doing is just taking some foam adhesive and cutting it into small pieces and putting it on either side of the cord. So that also... Okay, so I went ahead and finished up my balloons, and I added a little piece of foam tape to the back of the Celebrate. So I'm just setting those aside, and I'm going to start working on making my shaker part of my card. So I have a standard A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I know that it's going to be popped up from the front. Now, I only put one layer of foam. If you were using sequins that were the cupped shaped ones that have a little bit more depth to them, you'd want to put 2 layers, but I'm going to use those flat ones that I just recently picked up that I thought I was buying the cupped ones, but ended up made a mistake and bought the flat ones, but I think that's going to work out great. But let me just add a little bit more adhesive so that this kind of lies flatter. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my sequins. I'm using 2 different kinds. I'm going to use the sand ones. And we're just going to sprinkle those right inside. And then I'm also going to use the lemon meringue. So these are all those flat ones that I accidentally purchased. I'm going to sprinkle those inside there as well. And now what I'm going to do is take a piece of cardstock that I'm going to cut down to the same size as this piece here. Okay, so I went ahead and peeled the backing off, and then I took a piece of white cardstock. This is a tad bit smaller than the frame piece I made. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that right over the top of that, because if I tried to do it the other way, those sequins would have been all over the place. So I love, 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 love these flat sequins for doing shaker cards. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down right to the top of my card base. Okay, so there it is now attached to my card base. I really like that. I love those sequins, and I love those colors with this pattern paper. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start putting the rest of my card together. Okay, so I'm ready to go ahead and start putting this together. I'm going to take my balloons that I put the Lawn Funds trimmings onto, and we're going to just kind of figure out how I want to put these on. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of the foam tape. And you put the bigger one up towards the top a little bit. Put this yellow one to the side here. Green one right there. And then what I'm going to do is take these pieces and tie them together using some more of the lawn trimmings. Okay, so I went ahead and tied my bow with the hemp cord, and that was a struggle. So we're going to just go ahead and glue dot this in place, just like so. And use my scissors and trim off these little ends down the bottom here. Make sure that's down nice and good. And then I have my little Celebrate sentiment that we die cut and stamped out. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that underneath, just like so. And then the last thing I want to do is I just want to add a happy birthday sentiment to the inside of my card. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp my happy birthday sentiment using the cobblestone, and I have this mounted to my Martha Stewart stamp press here. And I'm just going to stamp happy birthday on the inside of my card. So that's my card for today. I think if I had to do it all over again, I definitely would have stamped something in this white section in the back so that I had a little something back there. But for only being my third, fourth maybe shaker card, I think I'm in love. I definitely will be trying out more shaker cards. Flat sequins are definitely my favorite because they're great for the shaker card because you don't have to add too many layers. If you were doing the cupped kind, the ones that have a little bit more dimension to them, you definitely want to put 2 layers of foam adhesive so that it would give you enough room on your card. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, a list of supplies are down below in the YouTube description and over on my blog. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. If If you liked today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe to be updated when I have new videos.